Hello and welcome back to the Bond Buzz, the magazine podcast show that trawls through the bins and God knows what else. We're a bit like skip diving, if you want to put a sort of wider level on it. Skip diving around the world of social media and newspapers to try and find out if there's any facts at all in relation to James Bond and where he currently is in the world of entertainment. I am here in UK HQ, and God help us, look who's at the branch office. It's only her good self, Bonita Drake. Bonnie, how are you?
I'm fine. Sweden it's very dark at the moment. It's like pitch black, but it's kind of warm. We're
Well,
in the
no,
plus.
we're only, what are we, 2 hours ahead of, you're 2 hours ahead of us, right?
An
An hour
hour.
ahead of us.
Mm.
An hour. And it's dark here as well. Although we're going through that Swedish period where it's and maybe it's me because obviously I came back from warmer climates and I just haven't got myself acclimatized yet. It's not working. And I'm going to tell you about jet lag later as well, which is a pain in the ass. I don't mind telling you. But yeah, so that's where we are currently, and that's why we've not been here for a little while. Bonnie's been off doing her thing. I've been off doing mine. We'll tell you all about that a bit later on. So we hope we find you well. We assume that while we've been away, you've probably adopted other podcasts as your seminal children. And what we'd like to do, maybe at this point, is to ask you to leave those seminal children and come back to us. If you could do that, that would be hugely beneficial. Maybe not get rid of them fully. Just put them on a back burner for a little bit and then come back to us. That'd be lovely. Because we've got huge amounts of nonsense to go through, primarily created by the press and the social media, and you, the general public, who keep adding to bits and pieces on social media for us to go, oh my God, we can't not comment on that. So that's often where a lot of it comes from. But as tradition rants, we're going to start at the very top, as we do each week. And we're going to start with the exciting part of the show, which is, firstly, what is Bonnie drinking? Ladies and gentlemen, there she is in Sweden. Bonnie, what this week are you drinking? Tell, show the ladies and gentlemen at home.
Okay, so I've got an interesting story with this because it's not a blind test. I do drink this quite regularly,
Okay.
but it's extremely Swedish and it's got an interesting story to it, which I can explain why I tried to get you to write down that name of the boxer.
Oh, right. Yes, she got me to write down the name of Ingemar Johansson,
Now,
which is a boxer. That's right. Swedish boxer. At what
yep,
weight do we know?
heavyweight, I
He's a
think.
heavyweight. Okay, crack on.
So in the 1950s, he was so popular, they made a drink and they called it after him called Ingo.
Okay.
But then, unfortunately, he kind of fell out of favor and he lost some big fights. So they kept the drink, but put a Z on it and made it Zingo.
Cinco. Okay. So
So
it used
it's
used to be Inga, as in
Ingo.
Ingemar, and now they've created Zingo. So Z for I don't know,
So in
zero.
1962, it was renamed.
And what is
So
it? Tell me what it is. It says Zingo
it's
Zero, but what is it?
it's an orange drink and it's a bit like Fanta, but kind of nicer. So there you go. There's a Zingo. Oh, look at the sparkles. I don't know if you can see the sparkles.
I
It's
can
really
see bubbles.
sparkling.
I can see blurry sparkles and bubbles at the moment. Here's the taste test. She's had this on a number. Wow, look at that. Guzzling it.
It's really nice.
Wow.
It's actually a bit better than Fanta.
Okay,
So
so when I
that's
come over
like
in March, I've got to try
custom.
Zingo now. That's the thing.
Yes.
Okay, looking forward to that.
And of course,
For
you can also try, because it will be out, and I am going to try and get you to drink Easter must. You had Christmas, you had Yule must,
Yule
which is
must, which
Christmas
was
must.
like Drano. What is Easter must? If it tastes of rabbits or children, rabbits, children, or chocolate, I'm not quite sure. I want to be tasting it. What's Easter must?
Exactly the same, just with a different label.
No, you've already talked me out of it right there. It's absolute poison from start to finish. I,
You
on
got
the
to
other
get
hand,
the
am drinking
taste for
good
it.
old-fashioned gin and tonic. If anybody wants to know, that's much, much better. That's a huge. Is that? I'm fascinated by the size of cans in Sweden. Is that a
Oh,
standard can size? Is that what size is
yes.
that? 500 or 330?
33.
330, 33 mil.
Hmm.
Good
It's
Lord, it looks
just a slim
enormous.
one.
Yes,
That's
exactly.
that's the ones we have.
We have short and stumpy ones over here.
But how do you get your hand around that?
Uh, not a question the ladies asked me for a very long time, if I'm perfectly honest. But I'll do my best is the answer that I often give. I have a go, you know. How'd you get your hand around that? Oh, I don't know. It's just practice, I suppose. Oh no. Right. So we've done the drinky poo, and now it's the most exciting part, ladies and gentlemen. Please, if you are of a nervous disposition, you must sit down at this point because it's terribly exciting. Bonnie, what are you wearing this week, please? Here's the drum
Well,
roll. Hang on. There it is.
I'm not, I'm going to show you
Oh,
it,
yes.
but I'm not going to explain it to you whatsoever.
Again, you really do sound like an ex-girlfriend of mine. You're going to have to elaborate on that if you would, please.
Because Light Till Dark Film Festival is on March the 26th to 28th
Oh,
in
yes.
Örebro, Sweden.
Indeed so.
And if you can somehow get yourself here, and if you've got somewhere to stay, we are giving away two free passes, and a pass costs like over £60.
Two free passes. Get in. I love that.
And to win, all you have to do is be the first person to tell me anything correctly about my t-shirt.
Right. So just to clarify, I can't be involved in this because I'm going anyway, right? So that's
Yes.
ruled me out. But
Yes, they can meet us.
anybody else watching, if you're listening to this on the podcast, you're gonna have to look at the video on YouTube, right? I'm sorry to say this, but you are going to have to do that. And if you are listening on the podcast, Bonnie is currently disrobing, and it has got slightly warmer. If I go too far, just let me know. I think it's a little warmer in here than it was just a few moments ago. But are you ready? She is ready now, and I'm going to stop talking, and she will now reveal the t-shirt, and there it is. And I can't say anything about it. I'd like to say lots of things about it, but I can't say anything about it. And she has sat down. Right. So if you are listening to this on the podcast, then you have to go and watch the video. Go and watch the video on YouTube, and then you will see the video. If you are able to tell us more about what's going on, what the t-shirt is, what it means, what movie it relates to, then send the details in. You can put notes down below. You can email us. I wouldn't email us, actually. Don't do that. Message us on social media, probably on Instagram, which I think is probably the most successful out of
I
the
mean,
lot.
we can read out what it says. I think it says unus annus,
Well,
which
that's
is, I
not the way I
think,
read it, but yes, okay. Can we
yeah, that's what
spell it
it.
out? Is that okay?
I'd have to read it from a t-shirt. So
No, no,
it's
just stand
you.
up. I'll spell it because
Okay.
you're looking at it down the other way. It is spelt UNUSANS. No, I beg your pardon. It's got slightly blurry. Let's me just go back to where it was. Come. Oh Lord. Right. UNUSANNUS. Yes, I know what that last word says, and I'm not going to say it on this podcast, but
But
that's
it
the
doesn't actually
spelling.
mean that. I
Apparently, it
think
doesn't mean that.
it's Roman numerals or seize the day or something like that it
Right.
means, if I
So
remember.
if you know what that means, then on Instagram, uh, I'll put a post up. But also, if you want to message us, do that with your information regarding it, and we will put you all into a hat. Is that what's going to happen? You're going to go into a hat and then
Well,
be
I think,
selected.
or it can be like just the first person. I don't know,
Okay.
but
Well, let's do it from a
it's a
fairness
toughie.
perspective. It is a toughie. I have absolutely no idea what that means. But if you know what it is, send the details in on Instagram. I think it's probably the best way. Message us, and we will put all of the entries into a hat. We will then draw that, and then we will notify who is the lucky winner of. Was it two passes? Two. That's four. Two free passes to the Light Till Dark Festival, film festival,
So
which
that's
happens
worth
later this
over
month.
£120.
Ooh, I tell you what, let's not beat about the bush here. We're not just giving little bits and stuff away. That's a lot of stuff. And that pass entitles you to everything. That's one of those exclusive passes that gets you in everywhere, right? And it's
Yep,
well
the
worth it.
opening film, the pizza party, the end film. They get to meet us if they want to.
You lucky dogs, you. Oh, there's so many things to be excited about. So yes, do that, and thank you once again, Bonnie, for warming up the entire world with your presence. So the next thing on our agenda, and I apologise to keep mentioning the word, and if anybody feels unnecessarily violated by it, I apologise unreservedly. But the next thing on our agenda is the word Jacob Elordi. Jacob Elordi has been mentioned once again. Bonnie, tell us why, please.
Well, it's really funny because we had that gap where you were in LA, I was in Berlin, and it felt like the beginning of the time we were away, they just said, "Oh, Callum Turner's got it."
Yep.
And we were like, oh shit, we're not in the office. I don't like the bloke. Nothing against him personally,
Nothing against him
but
personally. I just don't like him.
but
Okay, sorry, Callum, if you're listening, mate.
but yeah, I tried to track him down in Berlin. I feel really sorry for his girlfriend, not because it's his girlfriend, but because of that dress.
Oh my God. I mean, yeah. See, the thing is,
It
and again,
was,
we've touched on this briefly, but they are being packaged as a pair, right? I mean, it very clearly looks like he's your man for the role, and do you know who his girlfriend? His girlfriend's Dua Lipa. Everything she sings and touches turns to number one hits and platinum discs, etc., etc. So they're already packaging them together. I know we've talked about this before, but very clearly that was the case. And he was mentioned, he was asked in Berlin, wasn't he? In regards, and you were there at the time, so he was asked in relation to Bond, and he kind of went, "Oh, I can't really talk about that." Okay, which gave the impression that he knows much more about it than he really does. But then was asked a bit later on about it, and kind of gave the impression that he didn't know anything at all. So it's very confusing, giving split signals, split messages. What do you think's going on there with all of that?
I think he needs some media training. I can't believe that he didn't have a funny comeback. I know. No offense to the guy who asked the question, because I think he was German and so English wasn't his first language, but
Yep,
he dropped the question like it was a dead dog.
quite a strong
But
accent, didn't he? So it may have
yeah,
lost a bit in translation. Yep.
but instead of Callum going with something fun or quirky or anything,
Mhm.
he went mean, I would say.
I thought it was a little off-putting. Yeah, I was expecting him to come up with some sort of quip, and it ended up being a sort of, oh, just let's not talk about that. We're talking about something else, and it did kind of put the poor bugger down. I thought, which was unnecessary.
So yeah, I think he lost so many. I mean, that was not Bond at all. And that wasn't even an actor. I mean, you
Oh
expect
shit! Right.
to ask questions, you expect to answer questions, you expect to have something funny to say, no
Hmm.
matter what.
Yeah.
And you have a little, we both have done these kind of things. You've got a little sort of bag full of funny little things you can say,
Should
like,
something come up, you've got to have something else in the locker, haven't you? Yeah.
yes, like, oh, have you been talking to my mum? Something like that.
Have you been going through the bins? Yes, yes, we
Yes.
have. Yes, because that's what we do. Yeah, yeah, I see that.
So, but he had nothing, and it was awful. It was really, I felt bad for both of them in different ways, the reporter and Callum.
Yeah, it did strike me as being a bit odd. I mean, me, I know you don't like him for still not terribly clear reasons, but I think he's fabulous. I think he would be very good, and I think if they offered it to him and he said yes, I think he would make a really good go of it. And um, maybe bring it back to a sort of Pierce Roger type role that, again, this is my own personal thing, but I think that Bond so desperately needs right now. It needs to have something that people can go, oh, thank God, what a relief after having 12 years of that, or 15, however many, 14 years of that. We need something different. So absolutely, do we need a breath of fresh air? Bond back to his best, doing the thing that he does, and I think maybe Cameron might be
I
first
don't
on the
see him
plate.
as a movie star. I just don't see. And I picture
Why
James
are you
Bond being
such
a
an old
movie
stick
star.
in the mud? What's wrong? What's wrong with Callum? Why is he not a movie star? Why do you not see him as a movie star?
Because anyone that I picture like standing on a bus, and I wouldn't. on a bus stop and I wouldn't give him a second look. He's not a movie star.
Right.
No
Okay.
offense.
Wow. None taken. Well, much taken by Callum, I
Have
imagine.
you seen all those clips of like actresses and everyone sitting next to Henry Cavill and he says something and they're just like,
And they just die. They go, oh, yeah,
yeah,
exactly. Yeah. No,
that's a
he has
movie
got
star.
something. There's no doubt about that.
So it's just no, no, sorry. No offense to him, but no.
And of course,
But then later in the when we were away, all of a sudden everyone stopped talking about the fact he was a done deal and he was signing his name. Big Bird pops back up.
Big Bird. Jacob Elordi, he's so huge. Well, and I think that the whole Wuthering Heights thing happened at such a time whereby, he's on the back of being nominated for Frankenstein, and then suddenly turns up as the Wuthering Heights character, and people. There's two groups, right? There's two sets of people. There are those people that said, "Oh my God, it's spectacular! It's so exciting! It's so sexy! It's so well done." And there are others who go, "What was that shit I just watched for an hour and a half? It was nonsense." And even though, I took the time to go and I didn't go to the cinema to see it, but I did take the time to see it. I'm of the feeling that it's really way much more hype than it is content. I think there are better versions of Wuthering Heights. My favorite is the Laurence Olivier 1939 picture. And I think that because there's a great deal more suggested in that than there is attempted in this new picture. We both agree. We both love Margot very much. I don't think she's terribly well cast in it. Does she produce this? Is that why she's
Yes,
involved in? Right. Okay. So that makes a lot more sense. And I think there are a lot of actors these days who really should step away from producing movies and more, and maybe concern themselves with, from an acting point of view, getting the job done, doing it properly to the best of their ability, understanding the role, understanding the character, being able to give the character new life, something that hasn't happened before. Not entirely convinced that either of these two have done that. And yet, because they're big names, one of them was Barbie and the other one was a huge, great monster. Maybe that's the reason why there's so much interest in it. I find it very difficult myself. If you've seen the picture and you liked it enormously, tell us why, please, because I'm not so sure that I was in that group. What's your feelings on all of this?
I couldn't be bothered to go and watch it. So I saw the trailer, that
That's
was
the
enough.
spirit. The trailer was
But
enough. There we go. That's
I've had
the
so many friends that have gone to see it and they're just like, what the hell was that? And is that in the book or is this in the book? And I'm like,
yeah.
nope, no. Oh, and they'd say, oh, what was your favorite part of the book? And I said something and they would go, well, that wasn't in the film.
It's not in the books.
And
Um,
it's just like, how can you completely cut out like, because there's a brother and a sister, and then there's Jacob who comes in as sort of the step brother,
yeah.
and they get rid of the other brother. And it's just like, well, that's confusing because there's the dynamic of the three of them, and there's the fact that there's this other son who's taking the first son's place.
Right.
There's a lot of bullying. There's a lot of the Margot character then would be stuck in the middle between these two guys.
Mhm.
And it's, yeah, that they shouldn't have. I mean, a big problem which they shouldn't have called it Wuthering Heights, even with these or not, because then people wouldn't have something else to like, oh my God, it's not this, it's not
Yeah,
that.
if
If
they
they called
called
it
it
something
something
else,
else, and it was suggested that this was based on, they could come at it from a different angle. But to call it
because
Wuthering
they
Heights
they've done
based
it
on
with
everything
loads of
else.
other things. I
Yeah.
mean, Clueless was based on Emma. 10 Things I Hate About You is Taming of the Shrew.
Yes.
And people can see them as completely different films and
Mhm.
different.
Even modern day takes, look at Romeo and Juliet, the Baz Luhrmann, the modern day take on that, and I thought was really very good. If they'd done it as a modern day interpretation, maybe it wouldn't have been so bad. But also, on a slightly different note, if you've seen Marty Supreme, if somebody could tell me why Mr. Chalamet is continually lauded for this particular role. He's nominated for Best Actor in this particular movie. I didn't think it was terribly good. I watched it not that long ago, and I thought it was really very average. Have you seen it? Did you get a chance to see it?
I'm not a Timothy fan, and now he's gone and put his foot in it with everyone who loves ballet and opera.
Well, that's a small number
So
of people, I think. Not the
no,
biggest fan myself.
yeah, but he actually says it's not an art form and nobody likes it.
And this is
And
the difference between me and Timothy. I would never have said that in public. You see, I'd have kept that to myself. Whereas he just couldn't stop himself. Do you have a ping pong ball in his hand at the time when he was saying it? But yeah, he's being lauded. Gwyneth Paltrow, on the other hand, I will say, is terrific. I don't understand why she's in the movie or what she's doing, but she's absolutely marvelous and she looks magnificent in the film. But I don't think it's a terribly good role, if I'm perfectly honest. And the movie's very, very choppy and changing in places. But that's the way Oscars go these days. It's all very, very different to the old days
my
of the
money would
best
be
movie
on,
winning.
yeah, my money would be on Stellan Skarsgård. I'd like him to take home the Oscar.
Is he supporting or actor, leading actor?
Uh, I think he's supporting.
Right. Yeah. No. It's I mean, he's very good in everything. He could, as we've said
Mm.
before, he could probably read a phone book and get nominated for something or other. There's a whole hierarchy of Skarsgårds going on, doing the business there, keeping the Swedish flag flying. Um, yeah, okay. So Jacob and Callum, I'm waving the Callum flag. You're not waving the Callum flag, and we're both throwing Jacob out with the bathwater. That's the idea. Oh, look, it's only bingo card time, isn't it? If you've got your card with you, tick off the words Jonathan Bailey, everybody, because she's gonna tell you all about it, and we've got a little video and a little bit of soundbite to go with it. Tell us what it is first before I drop in the soundbite, please.
He's just picked up an award for playing Macbeth in on stage.
The Scottish play. Yes, go on.
Yep, and he is absolutely and wonderfully charming. I'm gonna quickly go back to see who gave him the award because I was more interested in him than the actual award.
You're
I
such a
think it was
fangirl. You
theatre.
really are.
What's on stage? And I mean, there's somebody who's charismatic and movie star all written all over him.
Oh, no, not disputing it. Very, very good. So here is Mr. Bailey delivering his thank you speech from What's on Stage for his award received for the Scottish play. Here he comes.
Hello, everybody. I'm so sorry I'm not there with you to accept this award. I'm gutted, but I am so excited and thrilled, particularly because it's What's on Stage, beacon of the theatre community, and you know it's about all the people who have come to see theatre, and I think sort of my memory of Richard II at the Bridge. Firstly, thank you, Nick Heitner, and everyone at the Bridge, at the theatre, and also backstage, and then obviously the incredible company that shared the stage with every night. But you know, it reminded me of just like how extraordinary live theatre is, and so many people came from all over the world to see it. And so thank you, because that's what it's all about. And I know that it's a really weird time, and it's scary, and it's a big moment of change, but I know, and I feel it in my bones, that the currency and the value of live performance is just going to skyrocket. There were moments of 103 shows that we did for Richard II that was like casting a spell, and it's everyone who is in that room on stage and all the people that fill in at 7:15, and you share those moments, and the razor sharp focus is magical. And I want to thank the Bridge for their ticket prices that are locked and steady. Thank you to everyone who I've seen on stage, obviously, for my life. That's been really inspiring. And, you know, I started in ballet. So every single version of live performance is what it's all about. And I'm so excited that we're all going to just support our local theatres and support everyone else that we know, and go and see these live stories, because that is what we humans do best. And it just is going to be, it's an amazing time to be in the community, and there's just going to be more jobs because we're just going to have to create more spaces and tell more stories. So yeah, thank you, What's on Stage, and everyone who voted and everyone who came to see Richard II. I cannot wait to see all of you on stage, and see you all very soon, in whatever capacity that is. Thank you. Have an amazing night, and everyone must have a beer on me, for me, on What's on Stage, for me. Enjoy. Sip. Bye.
So there he is doing his thing. Little beard. Look. Beards are in.
Now, I just want to say the song I love about Jonathan is that obviously he shot to fame probably because of Bridgerton. He's been around for a
Yeah.
long time,
Okay.
but that's when he went sort of mainstream. He could have left that show, but he comes back and he is in the fourth
Oh, is he? Oh,
season,
okay.
even though he had a lot going on with Wicked. And he's promised that he will come back, and he said that he saw himself as the older brother, which is the part that he plays to the other actresses and actors, and that he
Right.
would always be there for them.
All right, fair enough.
So he steals my heart.
He steals my heart.
And
He's
actually, I
just
can do
so
my
lovely.
bingo, my actual bingo
All
card.
right. So yes, is there anything exciting you've? I can't remember. I can't forget the last occasion when we ticked off the bingo card. You'd written being on a train or something daft. I can't remember what it was.
Night train to
Yeah,
Berlin.
no, night
And
train to Berlin. That's very specific. I'm not disputing that, but
yeah,
you've got
I
another option
cross.
on there. You
I'm
crossed something
crossing
else
off the
off.
night train to Berlin, and I'm crossing off Bridgeton Part 2.
Oh, that was it. Bridgerton Part Two. And I said, "Why have you never seen Bridgerton?" She went, "Oh no, I've seen it. I've just never seen Part Two." I went, well, that can't be on your tick off list then. Oh my! Having never seen Bridgerton, if I'd seen Bridgerton, then I would tick it off on my to-do list. It's not on my to-do list. I couldn't care less about it. But just saying. What's on the bingo card, apart from Jonathan Bailey, that you're really excited about next? I can't wait for this. There's going to be something like breathing air or drinking water. What is it? Having a
I'm trying to
poached
think if
egg.
it's here. Well, it is to take a photo of a squirrel because it's really
Oh,
hard.
that's still on there, right? Okay, the squirrel's still
Yeah,
on it.
it's really hard.
We
They
did
they
discuss
go
this
too
last time.
quick.
They are
It's not
very,
like I
very
don't
small,
see
very
them.
quick, and they can't hold the camera properly because they've only got tiny hands. So we did discuss this last time. Anything else exciting on the bingo card? There's got to be something on there
A
that I can get my
new
teeth into.
prime minister in the UK.
Well, yeah, not till what are we now? Another 3 years, I think. So I have to rule that one out. An
And of
adult
course,
in the White House, that might be quite nice.
and it's also making the Viking film.
Oh, the Viking film. Yes, of course, you've been making a Viking film, haven't you? Berserker. How's things going with production of your movie Berserker? Can you tell us a little bit about it? I know you've finished the teaser trailer, am I right?
Yeah. Yeah, it's, when you're sort of the low budget end of filmmaking, you do a little sort of teaser trailer, or you could call it a proof of concept,
Uh-huh.
where you show roughly what it's going to be, the feel.
Right.
So we managed to do that. I also managed to lose a glove. Never getting that back.
Oh my God. Where did you lose it? Maybe we can find people that will find it for you.
It's a green glove, and I lost it in a dark field.
Right. We might need a little more information in regards to that if we're able to find it for you.
I think it's gone, and
Left or right
unfortunately, I've
glove?
got the other one.
Left or
So,
right?
uh, left.
Are you sure?
I just put my hand up. It was the left.
It's the one that isn't currently wearing a glove. Okay, so that one. If anybody has a green left glove they can spare, perhaps Bonnie can make use of that. We're going to set up a PO box address. I think that might be the best thing to do for you to send
Okay,
us
and
random
unlike
shit.
OJ, I've got small hands. So
See, this glove doesn't fit me. Yeah, whatever. Um, oh, Johnny Cochran, dear oh dear, unbelievable. Okay, so that's all good. And when can we expect to see the teaser for this based on the actual filming of the movie? Will the teaser come out prior
Yes.
to filming?
Yep, the teaser hopefully will start surfacing sort of early summer,
Okay.
sort of around May.
Berserker. Keep an eye out for that. Bonnie's new project, Berserker.
It's getting very exciting. It's growing, and we're attaching so many LOIs from different well-known actors that
Um,
it's getting very exciting.
for the average podcast listener, tell us what an LOI is, please.
It's a letter of intent, and it means
Like a
that the actor,
commitment.
yes, so the
Right.
actor will say that they do the film, and when we get the money, then they get paid.
Okay.
So it's really nice when they do it. They don't have to. So it's very exciting when they do.
And are there another abbreviation, NDAs involved here, or is this only on slightly larger budgets? How does that work in relation to general information about film and about what's happening?
Yep, there are those as well
There
in
are
place.
NDAs as well.
Unfortunately, I'm like Tom Holland. I'm awful. So I end up just like going,
Blurting, blur,
yes.
all of a sudden giving the plot away. All right, fine, good stuff. Well, you may as well tell us all about what was going on then in Germany at that point, because you've been off to Berlin doing your thing. You went off to the Berlin Film Festival, and I, of course, was very concerned about your trip on the Orient Express. And it turns out that you weren't just randomly going to share with four strangers. It turns out that you were in the women's compartment, or there was a carriage, maybe for women, women only. And I dare say that you had complete luxury. What was the traveling like?
It was absolutely amazing. I
Mm.
highly recommend it. So I went from Stockholm to Berlin, one train, just through the night.
Mhm.
When I found my cabin, it was six, oh, five of us, five other people, so six in total.
Yep.
And it's each like it's almost like Sherlock Holmes. It feels like that kind of like cabin with a alleyway kind of thing, a corridor. Yeah, 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 one of those.
A petition
So yeah,
curtain.
so on the way there, I don't recommend sleeping with five other people because
Well, not on a first date, anyway. I mean, you have to
the
buy me dinner.
that was sort of bucket class, and the blanket was very thin, and I was
Were you sharing a
freezing throughout
blanket?
the
Good
night.
grief. No wonder it was difficult.
And so you have to make your own bed, and the
Make
blanket's
your
really
own bed.
thin.
Good grief.
Yeah.
What's going on? Right, go on. Sorry.
So that was quite unpleasant because people joined halfway through the night because you stop at Hamburg.
Oh, and
So
that
people that
people
who
get
got
on,
on
people get
in
off.
Hamburg
Okay.
at 11 or 12 at midnight, of course, disturbed everyone in the cabin
Yeah,
trying to
well,
make their beds as well. So that wasn't fun. Interesting thing was I was supposed to leave at 4 p.m. I didn't, the train went delayed and it didn't leave till 9 p.m.
oh, good grief.
And with no funfair, no annoyancy, no tons of paperwork, they just uh, told me this link. I went to that link and got all my train ticket there refunded.
Oh, really? Very good.
Yep, the entire lot got refunded for my outward journey.
Well, that's
And
great.
they gave us constantly free coffee and tea on board.
I would think so. Good Lord. How long
So,
is the trip then? So 9 o'clock you left. What time did you arrive in Berlin? That must have been fairly early, was it? Or a bit later
no,
on?
I think it's 15 hours.
Oh, is it 15
So,
hours? Oh, Jesus.
yeah,
Oh, okay.
because interest, you can feel when you kind of like when you're going and when you're stopping, and every so often we would like pull over and a faster train would shoot past and
Ah,
then we would pull back out. So we
right,
were on the slow sleeper train.
right.
But
Oh,
on the way back,
yeah.
I was only had to share with one person. I paid a bit more to sort of go second class.
So dear. See, there's nothing wrong with paying a little bit extra to get a bit more comfort. I find, particularly when I've got to my time of life. If I was a spring chicken like you, then it's not so bad. But when you get to my age, sometimes you don't want to be sharing with five random strangers and sharing a blanket, that sort of thing. So what was the difference? How significantly different was it between going and coming back? Because you shared with one extra person.
Hugely different. The beds were made. Of course, it was only two beds. It was a proper duvet, so it was
Ooh,
warm.
proper comfort. Yes.
There was a little sink in the corner so we could brush our teeth.
Right.
And it came with breakfast, which we did have to go down to the buffet cart to get the breakfast.
Hmm.
And there you could see that the breakfast was around £10.
Uh-huh.
But I would not have paid £10 for that breakfast, but it was
What was the
included in the
breakfast? Tell
price.
me.
It was all cool. It was a yogurt, a roll, which I said on my, if you go to my Instagram, it was like an IKEA roll because you had to make it yourself. All the, everything, like the egg and everything, it was just like, yep, put that back into the roll.
Oh dear. Right.
Orange juice and a coffee or tea. But if you go
Okay.
first class,
Oh yes.
then you're on your own. You get the shower and they bring you the breakfast.
See, and what was the difference cost-wise between one and the other? Because you've only just told me about first class, and already I'm excited about it.
It's a bit of a jump. It depends on when you go.
Right.
Obviously, weekends are more expensive.
Uh-huh.
So roughly, I think it was £130 for sharing with 6 people.
Strangers, yes.
Yeah.
Or
£190 and it was just me and one other person. A lovely German lady who did inform me that I did snore.
good to know. And she's right off the Christmas card list, by the way. Well, she was half German, apparently, shaved under one arm. So it's always very tricky. And the difference between that and first class was
Then it jumps up to like around £300. This is all one way. So one
£300
way,
each way.
yeah.
Wow.
So
Okay.
£130 one way for sharing bucket glass, £190 and there's just two of you, and then it hops up to £300 and you're on your own with your own shower.
On your own, son. Here, I'll fill your boots. Well, I don't.
But the cool things, I mean, it was so easy to get on board. There was no looking through your luggage. You could bring as much luggage as you want. The only note about it is that there's nobody to help you carry it. So you have to like get it on the
Carry
train
our own
yourself.
luggage. Oh my goodness. How
Yeah,
much
it's
luggage
quite a
did you take? Was
high
it huge
train.
amounts
It's
of
one
luggage?
of those trains that you have to
Oh, is it
almost.
see, I noticed that in Sweden, you've got a lot of double-decker trains. We don't
It
have those
wasn't
in
a
the
double
UK.
decker, but it was high. It was a good steps to get up.
Right, okay. And
But luckily,
did you bring huge quantities of luggage, or were you sensible and bought a decent case with lots of stuff in it and maybe a hand carriage as well?
I'm quite sensible with my little wheelie thing, and I'm also sensible enough to grab some big guy to help me to put it on
Marvelous.
the train for me.
Love that. Well done. Okay.
So, but there is one other price you can pay. I think it's about £50, and then you only get a seat. But a seat with, you only get a normal train seat.
Oh, right, yes.
So 15 hours in a normal train seat, I think it's worth it to have a proper bed. It's
I
a
think
proper
so.
bed. It's not like a plane or anything and it just tilts down.
Yes, yes.
You get a really nice bed and you
Good.
can look out the window and you can see countries go past.
See the countries go past. Well, that's nice. See, I like that. Um, and that's very much why I liked my flight from UK to LA. Because
Did you
obviously
have any adventures with customs? Because as I explained, no customs whatsoever. I could have bought whatever I wanted.
no, I mean, there's never any issues with customs. Um, not as far as I'm concerned. I've never been stopped at customs before. Passport control, well, that's a different story. So after it was an 11 and a half hour flight, and originally the flight was supposed to leave at 10 a.m. in the morning. So I arrived at Heathrow, parked my car at the Q Park, and then they shuttle bus you round to your terminal. And I went in and I dropped. I checked in already, so I was just bag dropping and said to the young lady there, "Where can I find the lounge? I need a BA lounge." And she went, "Oh yes, it's here," and that's lovely. So I got to the lounge and went in there and had a little bit of breakfast and charged up my phone and bits and pieces, and met young Vic Armstrong, who was in there. We were going on the same flight, so we sat together for a bit. We had a chat, and then obviously he's done this trip endless times before. And he's going, oh, I went, what? He said, delayed. Really? Oh, bugger. So it was delayed from 10 to half 12. And then, anyway, we carried on chatting. And he went, oh, not again. I said, what? He said, delayed again? So it was delayed then to 3 o'clock in the afternoon. And he said, I think it's about time I had a glass of wine. I said, fine, fair enough. So we went off and got some wine, and we had a little glass of wine just to warm up. On the flight itself, very
By the
comfortable.
way, just to compare us every so often with the train, did you get any kind of discount for that delay?
No, because it wasn't over a particular period of time.
Okay, so mine was four. It was supposed to leave at 4 and it left at 9, so 5 hours delayed. Yours was supposed to go at,
Should have gone at 10 in the morning, went at 3 in the afternoon.
so that's 3, 4, 5. That's 5 hours as well.
Yes. If it had been longer than that, or 6 hours, I think I would have been entitled to a refund of some shape or form, or a discount of some shape or form.
I just want to point that out with Swedish trains. I got my entire £130 back.
Yeah, okay, but if
Okay, carry
I
on.
can't get from London to LA on a train, but I do see the importance of the point. No, I see that. Um, so the flight itself was lovely. Yes, I was in business class because I thought I'm going to go business. If I'm going to go that period of time, I'm going to go comfy. And it was very good. You get your little stall, which has your seat in it, which reclines all the way back to flat. You get your blanket, you get your iPads, you get iPads, masks, so you can block out the sun or the dark or the
What
light.
was the blanket like?
Very good. It was lovely. It wasn't a weighted blanket, but it was just nice. They gave you compression socks, which I kept because they were really very nice. And the food was terrific. I must say they fed us terribly well. We got 2 courses while we were on the flight. I slept like a child. And then, although when I did wake up and I had to wander about and potter about, Vic came over to me and said, I tried to stop by once or twice, but you were snoring. Thanks, Vic. So I was snoring a bit.
Oh, who
But
did you fly with?
BA,
Okay.
um, and then got to LA. And of course, because of the time difference, so we took off at 3 o'clock in the afternoon and 11 and a half hour flight, but it's 8 hours back. So because of the time difference, it was technically still 6 p.m. of the same day when I arrived. And I thought, never mind jet lag, I'll just power through. This will all be great. So picked up my case, lovely. Then went to passport control and was confronted by about 4,000 people, all in a big zigzaggy queue. And I stood at the top of the stairs looking at this, thinking, oh my God. And there were like 4 desks on. And so I stood in this queue for 2 hours, wandering up, wandering down, wandering up, wandering down. Now, what I will say is that, I mean, I'd got a visa. I didn't necessarily need a visa, but I'd got a visa there. I got an Etsy visa, an ETSA visa. And I knew where I was going. They wanted to know the address I was staying at. I said, yeah, I gave them those passport details. You have to do the passport thing, and then you have to do that thing with your hands where you put all the fingerprints of one hand on there and then do the fingerprints of the other hand. And I got away with it. You know, it was all very straightforward. I will say that there were a lot of individuals from Asia, whether that be from Hong Kong or Malaysia or China or that neck of the woods, and everyone was really, I thought, treated much more harshly than I was. They were asked for documents which, well, I was never asked for. They were asked to produce documents that I was never asked for. And each person who was there at passport control, if you weren't English or European or American, not so much American, I'll explain that in a moment, but English or European, they were there for probably 10, 15 minutes per person, per person. Hence the 2 hour delay. I was in and out. I was there once I got to a desk and was being dealt with somebody who was 5 minutes and I was away. Um, Vic rang me then later on and said, "How'd you get on? You got everything sorted?" And I said, "I was 2 hours in passport control." He went, "Really?" He said, "I feel terrible now." He says, "Because I'm a green card holder." He says, "We've all got face recognition on us, so you just walk in and then walk out." So he was home long before I'd left passport control. And then it took me another 2 hours to get my car because they were on a bit of a go slow as well. So by the time I got home, it was about 8:30, 8:45, I would say. No, 10 o'clock-ish, about 10 o'clock time, by the time I actually got back to the Airbnb. So it was a bit of a job for traveling wise, but I was there.
Yeah.
I was then up like about 4 a.m. most mornings because I couldn't really get my brain round what time it was. But I realised that the coffee shops there are terribly good, and they have lovely patisseries as well, savoury ones, which I was quite excited about. But yeah, so got to do a great deal, got to do everything I wanted to do. Had some wonderful interviews with the guys from Stunts Unlimited, which there'll be an interview coming out in a couple of weeks' time for that. I also did an interview with Charlie Pacherny, who was Paul Michael Glazer's double on Starsky and Hutch, and was the stunt coordinator on Die Hard and Die Hard 2 and Roadhouse, and some extraordinary television and film. We just had a sort of general chat, which was really lovely. That'll be coming out this week. And then we had the Taurus Awards on the Saturday. A extraordinary moment happened on the Taurus. So I was on the red carpet, and we did some red carpety bits, and then we went inside for the show itself. And partway through the evening, a bit later on, they'd created a brand new award called the Action Icon Award. And there was a couple of guys came out on stage, one of which was Arnold's stunt double from quite some time ago, but I worked consistently with him over a period of time, a guy called Billy Lucas. And as Billy was speaking, it became very evident that the Taurus Icon Award was going to be presented to Arnold Schwarzenegger. Billy had been his double for many years. He was talking about how wonderful he was and how important he was to the stunt industry. And they showed a series of clips ending with him going, "I'll be back." And the room went, huge applause. And we assumed, well, there we go. He said, Billy's going to take the award and present it to Arnold. And he said, so the Action Icon Award for 2026 goes to Arnold Schwarzenegger. And the whole room went black. The lights went out. A spotlight happened in the right of the room, and Arnold walked on stage. And the entire room went, there was an audible gasp from people in the room, many who had worked with him and many who hadn't. But he got into the room. He changes the air in the room. It's the most extraordinary thing. And he spoke an off-the-cuff speech for about 5 or 6 minutes, which was amazing. And then he left, just boom, like that. He arrived and then left. And even afterwards, we're talking to people in the party afterwards, and they're going, we were in the same room as Schwarzenegger. I mean, he has that much appeal. It's the most extraordinary moment. But it was terrific. I got to see lots of people that I've known for years over Instagram and various other bits and pieces. We've chatted for years and commented on each other's posts, but never actually met. Or I'd interviewed them via Zoom, but never been in the same room together. So that was quite nice. And so, yes, it was all very, very nice. And of course, I was sharing the Airbnb with Anders Fridge, who's the guy who's the man responsible for From Sweden with Love. And I've known Anders for many, many years, and written loads of bits and pieces for his magazine and website and stuff. So that's we were sharing a place, and of course he is the manager for a number of stars, including George Lazenby, who lives in Santa Monica, where we were staying. And so he says to me, one morning I had a couple of bits and pieces to do on Zoom, interviewing people because I keep forgetting that they live in other parts of the States, but they're not in LA. So we did that, and he says, "I'm going to go down and see George. Do you want to come with me?" And I went, "George, sure, sure, okay." Trying to understand in my head that the George that he means is actually the guy that played James Bond in On Her Majesty's Secret Service. It was very, very complicated for my brain to take in all of that information. And we walked down the road, and of course by that time it was 26 degrees, and I was in shorts and a t-shirt and trying to soak up as much American sun as I possibly could. And we walked up to this place. He's in a it's like a facility, like not convalescent, but like a nursing place where he's got 24/7 care if he needs it, and he's looked after very well. And he's got his
Is
own
it
room, and bits and pieces,
almost like a student hall of residence?
like a student hall of residence, only with slightly older students in it. And there he was, sat outside, and we sat down, we had a chat, and we sat there for about 20 minutes, half an hour. And then he had to, a nurse came down and said, "Oh, we need to do some bits." I said, "Okay, fine." So I said, "Right, that's my moment to leave." And I said goodbye to Anders, and I said goodbye to George, and then walked off. And I'm walking back down the street thinking to myself, that was James Bond. That was really weird. But I'm still trying to put all the bits and pieces together. But
Did you
um,
actually have that in your mind? Was it like you met an like actually James Bond, an old retired James Bond? Is that the kind of feeling you got?
it was, well, because I'm so familiar with these actors that, to meet somebody who had played Bond um, was a was an extraordinary moment. Because I know On Her Majesty's pretty well. I've seen it so many times and love George's other work. We talked a great deal about his Hong Kong work when I chatted to him, which he was very proud of, and I was telling him stuff that he'd forgotten about, which was quite nice. And I did an episode, in fact, on my YouTube about me thinking that he throws one of the great screen punches, which he'd saw way back when, and said, "Oh no, I saw that. I thought, thank you very much for doing that." He said, "I used to put a great deal into my punches." And Anders said, "Yeah, but 9 times out of 10, you used to land them for real," which was true back in the old days. You remember that shot of Yuri Borenko in the audition, the fight audition? He's walking away with his nose bleeding and all across his face because George actually hit him for real. But walking away, I thought, well, it was great to meet him. And then I thought, but that was a secondary thought of that was James Bond. He was James Bond just for that 1 year, but nevertheless, he was Bond. And he said himself, Big Fry wasn't gonna tick all the boxes for him, and he wasn't gonna do anything else significant if it was for Big Fry. So all of a sudden he became James Bond, and then things opened up for him. Options became available for him. So he was able to go and do lots of other stuff. His time in Hong Kong and the other pictures that he did out there, and some serious pictures that he did back in the Hollywood and Australia. And got a name for himself, So it was terrific to have an opportunity to just spend a small period of time with him. So that was great fun to do. But I will say that night before, um, I had an extraordinary experience where we went out for dinner, me and Anders and a friend of his, a Greek actress and writer who lives in LA. And she said to me, because I was driving, you see, we picked her up and then went off to go and have dinner. She said, "How long have you been driving?" I said, "A week." She went, "A week here?" She went, "That's very good. You've understood. There's lots of stop signs. We don't have stop signs in the UK. We have give way, but they have so many stop signs. You have to physically stop. If there is somebody at the junction already, they have right of way, and then you must drive on, right? So that's all it is." And she said, "Look, there's places that I'd like you to see from a touristy point of view, just for views and bits and pieces, but you won't be able to get up there. So if it's okay, I'll drive." I said, "Fine." And she took the wheel and she drove like a pro. I mean, she was absolutely sensational. But where we had dinner in a place which was, again, a super restaurant, really, really exciting, open top open roof. We had some lovely food, and it was right next door to the Capitol Records building, where Sinatra recorded all of those most extraordinary, and loads of people. We all had photographs taken of us in front of the building. And of course, she says it must be quite weird now because it's apartments, and it was. The whole building is now apartments. I go, oh my God, how bizarre! That all of this Capitol Records building used to be full of writers and musicians and everybody scoring bits and pieces and producers and doing deals with stuff, and now it's just apartments. But it's got the Capitol Records sign on it.
Last time I stayed in LA, I was in a really sleazy hotel just around the corner from there.
Oh, lovely.
And it was like the only way me and my husband could find our hotel was it was right next to a strip joint. So when you saw the neon woman, then you
That's
knew it
where
was
we're
the turn
going.
into the hotel.
Now there were many neon women, in point of fact, but it was a remarkable period of time, and I can't wait to go back. And there is a possibility of me going back in April because I've got some other bits. I've been given some other bits and pieces to do while I've been out there, which was really nice. So
That's awesome. You well deserve it. You're so once you're somebody meets you, they can tell how sort of just talented you are. It's why we keep inviting you back to Sweden.
you're, you're very kind. It was just, it's always been one of those things that you wanted to tick off. And I said to I was telling somebody
It
about
doesn't sound like you went to Universal Studios, though. That would be my first point of
no, because I
place
wasn't
there.
remotely interested. I had a friend of mine who was out there at the same time who was doing the sightseeing thing. And because I was working out there and doing bits and pieces, I didn't have time to go and do Universal Studios, or I didn't have time to go and do this. Next time I go, I want to go to Paramount Studios. I'd like to go to Burbank, and I'd like to go to places of this nature where there are film and television connections. But yeah, I mean, I did. In point of fact, that evening where we were driven round, we did end up outside the uh, Chinese theatre, and I got a few photographs of Peter O'Toole's handprints and Michael Caine and Mel Brooks and stuff like that. Um, but it was just lovely to go. But to say I've got the hopefully the opportunity to go back again in April, so that's a distinct possibility. Unfortunately, it'll be only for a week again because I've got I need to find somebody to look after Dad while I'm away. You see, that's the thing. So I have to try and cram in as much as I possibly can in 7 days. But it was huge fun, and if you've never been, I do recommend going. I will say that. Coming back, of course. Now, I will say this: coming back, jet lag, totally different thing because I gain a day. No, I lose a day coming back. So I took off on the Wednesday at 6 p.m. and I arrived on the Thursday at 12:30 in the afternoon, UK time. And I thought,
How many, the most, last time I was in LA, the most number of times I saw people that were famous was at the airport.
I didn't. Funnily enough, apart from, well, the people I went to see were famous to me. They weren't famous to anybody else. But apart from Schwarzenegger at the theatre, the only time I saw somebody famous after that was at the IMAX theatre in Waterloo on the Sunday because I went to see the new Baz Luhrmann Elvis movie, Epic, Elvis Presley in concert, and Billy Idol was there. Because apparently he was mind you, had a bodyguard who was about 9 foot tall and about 6 foot wide, and he came out of the toilet carrying a pint. I've often been really concerned by people who take drinks into toilets. Anyway, he came out, and we're all stood there going, "All right, Bill, do you enjoy that?" "All right, lads, he's still got it, hasn't he?" Well, no, he's dead, Bill. But I appreciate what you're driving at. But again, if you've not seen the Baz Luhrmann picture, I don't know whether it's only at IMAX. And I think because it was filmed in IMAX, so I suspect it will be. If you're in London, go to the IMAX at Waterloo. It's the Europe's biggest screen. It is spectacular. You actually think you're in the concert or the rehearsal with him. Wonderful sound, wonderful music. There are snippets of conversation that I have seen on a video that I've got called "That's the Way It Goes," which is a compilation of Elvis live in concert. But you don't really get all of the sound of the conversation. There's a lovely moment where Cary Grant and Sammy Davis Jr. are backstage with Elvis, and they are talking about how they loved the show, how they thought it was wonderful, but you can't really catch what they're saying. In this, Cary Grant says to Elvis, "Man, that was amazing. It was so cool." I'm going, hang on, that's Cary Grant. Cary Grant saying "so cool" and "man" in the same sentence. And then, of course, Sammy Davis is going, "Hey, you're the big cat. You're the big cat. Really? Is that what he's saying? I never thought that." But that's the line he's saying. So you catch all of this amazing stuff. Um, and it's brilliant. So I urge you to go and see that if you get a chance to do so. I don't know how long that's out for, but it's really well worth before it turns up on a Blu-ray or streams somewhere. Unless you've got a screen that's about a mile across, you might not catch the benefit of it. But well worth it. So yeah, the Thursday I arrived, and then the Friday I went to London with some friends, right? Because we planned it long in advance. Uh, we had a few drinks, little bite to eat, waiting for a friend. Friend turned up, had a few more drinks, and then decided to go to a Italian restaurant just up the road where we were staying in Waterloo. And they have photographs, they have footage, they have all sorts of me in the restaurant, absolutely dying on my arse. Not drunk, asleep. Just physically switched off. And I have no recollection of going to the restaurant, leaving the pub, nothing, going back to the hotel, nothing. I woke up about 2 o'clock in the morning after being absolutely out cold. Slept really well. But, and still now, when prior to me going to the US and when I was there, I was getting up very early. I'd be up 5 o'clock in the morning. Now I go through the alarm this morning. I know it's a Monday, but I was really struggling to get out of bed at 10 o'clock this morning. I was absolutely done and could quite easily have laid back and gone again. So it still has a sort of long-term effect. It will happen over a period of time. So the pitfalls of jet lag, but huge fun. Can't wait to do it again. All marvelous. And there's only a small time difference in Sweden. I think I'll manage, is the idea on this occasion. But apart from that, is there anything else you'd like to add before we go?
Um, well, I managed to do a little bit of sightseeing
Oh, yes.
myself when I was in Berlin.
Right. Go on.
So that was super fun. Luckily, my hotel was right next to the train station. So as soon as I arrived, it's open borders. So they tell you to take your passport, but nobody checks.
Oh, because you did get the Checkpoint Charlie photo.
Yes, I did. And I don't know if you look, there's a McDonald's right to
It's
the
a
side of
McDonald's,
it.
right? Yeah, the Golden Arches. How bizarre. Will you tell the ladies and gentlemen about thinking you were in one car park when you actually should have been in another one?
What? Okay. Well, there's things you've got to
This is
do
brilliant, but if you're
when.
not sitting down, sit down. This is absolutely stormingly good. Away you go.
Okay, well, there's things you've got to do. I mean, it's the first time I've ever been to Germany. It was the first time in Berlin, and it feels like you've walked into a film
Right.
set. There's tons of war memorials everywhere, and it's really heartbreaking.
Mhm.
And the pavements are just like massive, so you can really picture hello, hello, and them all marching
Oh.
because the
Oh.
pavements are just so big.
Yeah.
And okay, it was like, I'm going to be in Berlin. It's my first time. I know the history. I know what's happened. It gets drummed into you. I want to know where Hitler's bunker is.
I
That's
love that this is on your first list of right. I'm in Berlin. I want to find Hitler's bunker. How
Now I
bizarre!
have been warned that it's just a car park. They're very sensitive about it.
You
It's
don't
not a big
say.
thing. Yeah,
Right.
there's no key rings. There's no gift shop.
But Hitler was here. My
Yeah.
Führer steps. Yeah. Okay.
So it's not on any brochures. You have to actually ask somebody. So,
How
I'm,
many
I'm
how many people did
saying
you ask before they told you where it was?
well, I asked one, two, three people I had to ask. So I got directions to it. I knew it was going to be a car park. I got to this car park, which is in front of a library. I walk around and it's very eerie. I mean, it was like the birds weren't flying over. It was honestly, you could feel
It's
the
a
tension.
it's a
So I'm walking
sign.
around taking photos. Some people are looking at me, but I'm trying to like be
Not a
as
tourist.
respectable,
Respectable,
res
yes.
no, yeah, I'm trying to
How
be as nice as possible about it, but it's history.
mhm.
So I take all these photos. I start looking for this plaque because I was told that there's a small plaque.
Is there? Okay.
Yeah, and I can't find it. So I thought I'll pop into the library and ask. And I go into the library and they go, no, that's just a car park. So
So
my
you're in the wrong
evil
car park.
feelings about this car park, I have to apologize. It's just a car park.
Right. Um,
So yeah, I delete all the
500
um
photographs you've taken
yeah,
of a
off my
car park.
phone.
How
And
far
they
away was it
went,
from where you were then?
it was all pretty much in a walking sort of area. So luckily it wasn't that far for them to set me in the right direction. The library guy had to Google. He did not know. And it
Millennials.
turns out that it's just behind this absolutely amazing, extremely sad memorial to all the Jewish people that died
Oh, I
during the
see. Okay.
Holocaust.
Right.
So it's just around the corner from there. And just to make sure I got the right car park this time, I waited till there was a tour guide doing his thing, and I kind of like sneaked in round the back.
Heard him say, "This is where I'm in the right spot." Okay.
Yeah, yeah. It's like, I got you this time. I know where I'm going. So I get there, and then yeah, it's just a car park. There's a big like billboard kind of thing
Uh-huh.
that shows what it would have been underneath, like a blueprint of
Oh, I see.
underneath.
Right.
And there's like a sort of a like kebab shop on the side,
Obviously.
and that's your lot.
A doner kebab house on the spot where Hitler thought, right, I'm done.
I
Uh,
will send you a photo of it.
oh,
So
yes. We'll pop it up in
anybody,
the conversation here so people can see what we're referring to. It's not your standard car park. No, no, this is the other one she's referring to.
but
Um,
Checkpoint Charlie, I was really surprised by that people don't get knocked over because it is in the middle of
it
quite a
is the middle of
fast
the road,
road.
isn't it? Yes, of course. They
Yeah.
appear to have kept a sort of basic structure of it with a sandbag thing and then nothing else.
But I was super lucky because I went there, it was just getting dark and it was raining. And as you could tell, there was nobody there at all.
No.
And I just, whoa, fantastic. I feel like Roger Moore. I did the Roger Moore pose as best as I could.
Ah,
And then I came back thinking I'll do it again in the daytime, and it was heaving.
right.
It was a
Yeah.
long, huge queue
Oh,
of
were they all taking
people.
their photos? Oh, I see.
But yeah, but in the long shot, you can see that there's quite clearly a McDonald's to the side.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if
That's
Hitler was
progress for
alive,
you.
he'd be just like spinning in his grave because
Well,
it's just like. So I picked up some, like you do, Checkpoint Charlie key rings and stuff like that.
fridge
And then
magnets.
I went to that place that's supposed to be have the living daylights, I think, or it was there was supposed to be a cafe just to the side called Back Factory,
Oh, I see. Yes, there was
something
a there
like
was a
that.
some sort of bond connection with a
Yeah, I went in there and I asked, and they knew nothing. So I
you've
bought
been led
myself
up
a
the garden
sandwich.
path.
Yeah, I bought myself a sandwich so that I could stay there. And I wandered around in that kind of area,
Mm.
and there was nothing there.
How bizarre.
So I was very upset
Because you'd
by
had that on
that
fairly
then.
good authority. There was a number of reviews on Google and said, "Oh, there's a place here and there's a place here which is bond connected and stuff," but there's nothing there at all.
No,
Well, that's not very good.
very upsetting.
Very
I
upset,
bought
of
myself a
course.
little bit of Berlin Wall, like you do.
Of course, they're selling
I
Berlin
went to the
Wall.
actual museum because every single shop sells a bit of Berlin Wall. But I thought if I went to the museum, and it was the same price in the museum as it was in all the little shops, which
Okay,
was 14 euros. I don't know
14
what that
euro
is. That
for
about £10, something like that. I don't know.
yeah, something like that. What about
So
Brandenburg Gate? You go to Brandenburg Gate, did you?
I think I did.
You think you
I
did? It's the
mean,
it's the big it's like the it's like an no, it's not. It's like big concrete
yeah.
arches, and at the top of it has got a horses and chariots on top of
Yep,
it.
yep, yep, yep. I
You did.
had to walk past there constantly.
Right.
I apologize profusely. I'm not very good at remembering names or even clocking names of things,
Yes, I can see that.
but
Yeah,
I
never
did
mind.
see
It doesn't
that.
change the way we feel about you. Don't worry.
So I walked past that and I walked through it. That was really cool.
Good.
And it felt very Bond. I
It
must
does,
admit,
I
a lot
think.
of places felt very, very Bond.
Yeah, it's got that sort of, particularly if you see movies like Harry Palmer, the Funeral in Berlin, the second Harry Palmer picture, and there's lots of the Mercedes building and with the Mercedes logo spinning on the top of the building, Brandenburg Gate, and all that sort of stuff. You see that quite close up. They're very very they're not. In certain cases, there's not a great deal of change. Many of those roads you can't go up or down anymore, but they've pedestrianised a great deal of them. But
And of
there's
course, I sent you a picture of is it the Skoda car?
She's an ugly little bitch, I think was the
Yes.
phrase that was used. Let me see if I can find it here. So the car that you sent me a picture, it's a Trabia, and trabiaworld.com. I don't think it may be the same sort of vehicle that was in GoldenEye. But yes, there's trabiworld.com, TRABI world.com, if you want to go and check that out. There's a place in Berlin, and it is the history of the Trabi, which is when you look at it, you'll recognize it immediately. It's a very common vehicle, presumably from an affordability point of view. But yes,
They have a
lots of that going
museum
on.
there, but
The museum,
strangely, the
yes.
museum only takes cash, which sounds a bit dodgy.
Cash,
And
good
I didn't have
Lord.
any cash on me. I only do
Why is
plastic.
why is a woman like you not carrying cash in this day and age? Cash is still king, you know. I
Because you've been to Sweden.
I
We
know I've
we
been to
don't
Sweden.
really do cash
If you
here.
present cash in Sweden, people go, ugh, they look at you in a weird way. I had cash with me in the States, and I couldn't get rid of the damn thing anyway, even down at the Target down the road or the local supermarket. I got some of it, but they were struggling to then find me change. I don't know how much float they got on a daily basis, but so yes, so there we are. We've been traveling all over the place, and I say we're back for a brief period of time until we are back in Sweden together, where I dare say we'll do another episode live. It seems
Yeah.
like only November when we did the last one. Oh, hang on, that's because it was only November when we did the last one.
And
So
it's actually my birthday on the 16th.
yeah, fine. All
So
right, I'll take you out for dinner. Good grief, what more do you want? When do I arrive? 24th? 24th, I think I turn up. So if you're wanting to go and have a little bite to eat somewhere, we'll go and do that.
thank
And
you.
we'll go and find something somewhere for your birthday. We can't. It's either that or I have to give you the bumps, and I don't have the energy anymore. If I'm perfectly honest, my back's not what it was. So a bit of dinner will be fine. So that's about the size of it for this week. Anything else you'd like to add before we go, for the ladies and gentlemen?
No, I think we're good.
Okay.
Thank you for hopefully finding us again. Sorry that we were globe trotting, planes and
We
trains.
must apologise for globe trotting, but on the subject of planes, trains, that's just sprung into my head. When I was on the plane, I saw the John Candy documentary. If you haven't seen it, I think it was, I don't know what it was, HBO or something of that nature. It's got to be Google it and you'll find it. It's absolutely stunning. I was never the biggest John Candy fan, if I'm perfectly honest. There are moments, I knew he was a great comedian. I loved some of the bits and pieces he did. I wasn't a fan of SNL back then because we never got to see it. But I remember Planes, Trains, and Automobiles being really. Uncle Buck was another great movie that I loved. And I like JFK. And he turns up as a straight actor in that. He was a very, very fine straight actor as well as a comedian.
That's
This
the new one. I think
documentary
it's
is
called
superb.
I Like Me.
I
Is
Like
that what
Me. That's exactly what it's called. Yes. So John Candy, I Like Me. If you haven't seen it, do. I urge you to do so.
And
Saw it on the flight coming over. Brilliant.
it's produced by Tom Hanks's son,
Yes,
Colin
Colin.
Hanks.
Colin has produced it. And it's really, really well done. Great interviews with lots of people who worked with him, knew him. or people who just admired him, and some great clips and stuff and stuff that I don't remember having seen before. So lots of new bits and pieces. So do get a chance to see that if you get a chance. That's about the size of it for this time. We will be back next week with more of the same if we are saved, allowed to do so. If there's anything you'd like to do or anything you'd like us to comment on, please comment below or send a message on the socials. Remember the Bonnie t-shirt thing, that's important. If you want to get your hands on 2 free tickets for the Light Till Dark Film Festival, 26th to the 28th of March this month, then simply send us a message in regard to the t-shirt that Bonnie was wearing earlier. If you are listening on the podcast, I've spelt it out for you, but you will have to see the podcast, all right? So that will be out this week. With a bit of luck, podcast out on Wednesday, and the YouTube will be out on Friday. So check it out, get yourself 2 free tickets, and we'll hope to see you in Urburu back in the later end of this March. Until then, it's about the size of it. Bye for now.
Bye.